Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Sunday night show. It is Sunday, no one knows what date it is, the 3rd of May, 2020. Hello, welcome. This is the second instalment of the Sunday night show. First and foremost, most important question of the evening, what are we drinking? I'm back on the cans. I had a few gin and tonics last night. That were a nice change. Refreshing. Plenty to talk about again tonight. It's going to be a jam-packed stream. I don't know how long it's going to last. Looking forward to seeing everyone in the chat. So make sure you get in the chat this evening. I'll be answering all questions. My mate Paul there, Paul Beard. Hiya Jack Pal, hi mate. Hope everything is well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Tiger versus Phil, the $9 million rematch, as it's going to be. We've got Peyton Manning, Tom Brady involved. I've just got a text. Big question, are we bothered? I know it's going to be nice actually having some kind of sport on the television screens, but is it as big a deal as probably what we think it's going to be? Fella Murray, melt. I expect nothing else from you, Graham. I don't know if I'm that excited about this Tiger-Phil rematch, especially when getting a couple of NFL players involved. I don't really like NFL. I don't like any American sports, to be fair. Sorry about all Americans watching. Sam Turner says we need something. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. Right, so there's no date yet confirmed for the Tiger versus Phil rematch. It's going to happen sometime in May at a location that's yet to be confirmed as well. So we're not as well informed. It's like a lot of things at the minute, really, isn't it? We don't really know what's going on. So, but it is definitely happening. Tiger versus Phil. Paul says last time they played, it was just seen as a money-making match. Yeah, absolutely. It would be nice if they were to donate all the proceedings to a charity of some sort, wouldn't it? And I think that's what's going to happen this time. Fingers crossed, anyway. Fingers crossed they do. Right. Speaking of returns, we have got the PGA Tour coming back. The PGA Tour returns on June the 11th, and it's going to be the Charles Schwab Challenge. Charles Schwab was a very rich man in America, I do believe. Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial, which is like Ben Hogan's own course, I think. It's got Hogan's Alley on it. Colonial, June the 11th. Very much looking forward to the Charles Schwab Challenge. Also, the first scheduled European Tour event that's going to be happening is meant to be the British Masters, and that's going to take place July the 30th to the 2nd of August if everything goes well. So we shall have to wait and see on that one. With regards to the PGA Tour schedule, they've said that the first 4 events are going to take place behind closed doors, so no spectators or a limited amount of spectators, which is going to be very interesting. So we've got Colonial first, June 11th to the 14th. Then we've got the RBC Heritage, which is at Harbour Town. That's usually the event that follows straight after Augusta, the Masters. Obviously no Masters until November, I think it is. I swear it's November. The Masters. So yeah, RBC Heritage June 18th, again with no spectators. And then they move on to the Travellers, which is June 25th. I think it's TPC Southwind, something like that. I could be wrong. Then we've got the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which takes place in Chicago. I ain't got a clue what golf course that one's at, but that's going to be the 2nd to the 5th of July. So PGA Tour are very much moving forward with trying to get golf back onto the scene. Bit of a crazy one though, because you think how many people's going to be coming from abroad to get to these PGA Tour events, as in the players and the caddies. On that is what some things that the PGA Tour have announced. So they've said that player testing and caddy testing for the coronavirus is going to be available. Thank God. Social distancing is going to be in place. My big concern with this though is that how they're going to keep the social distancing between the players and the caddies. That's going to be a strange one. Let me know in the chat. How do you think they're going to get around that? Players and caddies, social distancing. I'm not sure myself. And the tour is also monitoring travel restrictions. So I know Donald Trump's announced that not many people less people are allowed into the United States than usual. So shall be interesting when we look at the PGA Tour return. Let's get to some comments. You guys are on fire tonight. They've come firing in. Graham Murray, when's Kingswood Open, fella? I'm not sure yet, mate. We're waiting to see what the next announcement is on, I think it's this Thursday, the 8th, is it? Something like that, 7th or the 8th? But we don't know. We know the precautions that need to be put in place when we get back to golf. But at the minute, we haven't got a concrete date as when we're going to be allowed. Ireland, however, they know for definite that it's going to be the 18th of May. So that is when Ireland are allowed to go back to golf. Fingers crossed that something like that is going to happen in this country, a situation where they say to us, you're allowed to go back on a certain date. I would hate it if they just say, we're closed, we're open, because then that gives us no time to prepare whatsoever, and it could be an absolute mess. I think it's going to be carnage as soon as we open, but fingers crossed they allow us a little bit of time to get everything in place before people start coming back to the course. So, but yeah, we don't know what date yet. Sam Turner says Augusta. Hopefully I covered that in last little bit that we're talking about. So I think the Masters is going to be in November. Pretty sure it's in November. Paul Beard again says, been nice to see live matches instead of repeats. Definitely, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing some live sport again. Paul Nicholson says, mashed potato. Yes. American golf is soon coming back. Do you think Rory will win a major this year? I think there's only going to be one major this year, and it's the Masters. Fingers crossed. I hope he does. I love to see him win Grand Slam. And I think as courses go, it's the most suited to his game. It's in that big eye draw. You think of those like 10th at Augusta where you need to hit a big eye sweep and draw off the tee. I think it's up for him, really. And unfortunate that he's not yet won it. Pud Burn, all right, pal. Hello, mate. Good evening. Hope you're well. Piers, will the lack of crowds affect different players differently, i.e. some need the adrenaline of a live crowd? That is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Whack your money on Patrick Reed winning that first tournament back because there's no crowds there. That's all I'm going to say to that one. John Lumley, would be better if we had Brooks versus Bryson, be chance of a brawl. I think they've made up, From what I've heard, I think they're mates again. But like a lot of you were saying in the chat, I'm just glad that we're seeing some actual live footage of some golf, not old repeats. Piers, if players and caddies both tested, social distancing wouldn't be needed. Surely, yeah, that is true. Good point. Paul Beard again, if they are both tested negative, it would work. That's correct. Yeah, cool. Do you think Alan Bisbee will win a Kingswood comp? No, absolutely no chance. Unless he switches coaching allegiances, which... Paul Nicholson, do you ever have social distance from someone you live with? Right, so player caddy could be okay. Yeah, cool. Ross Weston, you look bloody good in yellow, Jack. Ross Weston, tremendous joke again tonight on Snapchat. Always on fire since this lockdown started, you. Norwich City hoodie, yeah. Mate, last week wore yellow. This week wore yellow again. Could be a Sunday Night Live thing. Who knows? I heard it will be members only, no visitors when we reopen. That could be interesting, although I've not heard anything of that sort, Paul. So it would make sense because then you don't need us necessarily in the pro shops to start with. You don't need that interaction, which is good. I think obviously the premise of this social distancing idea is that we're keeping people apart. It would seem bizarre to me, my first day back at work, if we have copious amounts of people queuing outside the pro shop ready to go out and have a game of golf. It's defeating the object, really. Right, let's have a look what we've got to talk about next. So, so as you probably may have seen, I've been doing what happens next type thing, a couple of videos recently. So the information that I've got, like I said earlier, we've got no date specified as to when we can go back. Fingers crossed we're told in due course. But I have been letting people know what is the crack once we are allowed back into golf courses, pro shops, driving ranges, all that kind of stuff. So that was a document that was sent to me by the PGA, and I don't know why the PGA aren't transmitting this message as much as what they can, because it's been kind of down to me, I feel, in some capacity, which is strange. So if you haven't already checked out those videos, make sure you do. We have got the last video of that series coming tomorrow. That's going to be covering what we're going to do in fittings and lessons as soon as we're allowed back onto the golf course. So super interesting. Make sure you don't miss that one. Yeah, so that's tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I've lost my train of thought. That's pretty much that one. Let's have a look in the comments again. Ross Weston says, thanks, my mate. Can you tell us a joke? I can, but it's a bit blue. So we'll have to save that for a PG live stream if ever I do one of those. Let's post this in anyway. I'll tell it later. If we get to 20 likes, I'll tell a joke. So we're on 5 at the minute. There's 20 watching. If you could all like the video, that'd be massively appreciated. More people that like the video, more people can see it. And that's what we're all after on this channel. Because recently, as you know, I've been trying to spread the word. So that will be much appreciated. 5 likes at the minute. Let's get that up to 26. We're on the rise. Beautiful. Right. Next question. This is what I want to know from you guys as well. Good evening, Al. It says evening Hollywood. That's my nickname at work. How have you been filling your time away from the golf course? That's what I want to know. So we obviously not been able to play golf. We are mostly golfers on this channel, I will presume. what have you been doing in your spare time? Have you been swinging in back garden? Have you been swinging in general? I know that kind of thing's frowned upon in these times of desperation, but personally, I've been playing a lot of FIFA. I've got a video game addiction. Only one video game though, and it is FIFA. So 14 wins so far this weekend. John Lumley, how many members do we have at Kingswood? Getting a little worried, pay and play like myself are going to have to wait longer for a knock. So that's an interesting one, that, John. On current members, I think it's around about the 40, 50 mark, something like that. One thing that I have been quite discouraged with, though, is that the pressure that golfers have been putting on golf facilities in order to get golf back. What we need to remember in this crazy, crazy time is that golf is not a necessity. I know it's great that you think it's a form of exercise, even though it's not one of the most easiest forms of exercise to go with. But for me, it's always been a case of let's get it safe so that by the time we can come back to golf, it's proper. Because what I can see happening is that the more pressure people are going to put on golf courses and places like that to get back open quick, we'll see people not adhering to the rules, and we're going to go back to a state of affairs that we're in at the minute, which is not good. So I would much rather get it right, get the death rates down first, ensure that it's safe for us to go back onto the golf course before we actually do so. So the idea of it being like, oh, I don't want to wait any longer to get back to golf is, I think it's a bit worrying, really. So, but yeah, with regards to the members, the first time that I've been told that it's going to be members first and then visitors second is a comment on this live stream tonight. So none of that's been confirmed yet, as I am aware anyway. But very, very interesting. Kev Ray, our golf club has not given any info out yet, but I believe they're putting something together. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, the information that I've been putting out to all you guys, I've only received it in the last 3 or 4 days or so. It's a very, very hot topic at the moment, and I think a lot of people. One thing that I would advise you guys to do as well is that make sure that if you are advising people on things, make sure it's concrete, because I've seen an awful lot of absolute crap on Facebook, Twitter recently. People that are not informed what's going off, and they're telling people. Like I seen a guy the other day put a status on Facebook, and I very nearly commented. I'm glad that I didn't really. And he said that golf is back, 8th of May. And it's like, where have you heard that? Because that's not true. We did have a comment right at the start of the live chat from Rich1980. It says, the courses I play locally are members and expensive green fees on 18 holes, but most do have 9 holes available next door. Do you think as pro clubs will, I think it means members clubs, do you think members clubs will be open with the 18s and then open the 9s after? I ain't got a clue, mate. I think it's going to be a case of as soon as golf is back open, I think that's up to the establishments whether they're going to open or not. For me, I would keep it to 9 holes to start with this phase 1 that I spoke about in my videos the other day, and then gradually move it into slightly longer. Because one thing that's going to happen is golf is going to take longer. It's going to take longer to get around because grass will be longer, so it's harder to find your ball. And pace of play is going to be slower as well, I think, because there's going to be a lot of people wanting to play. So as soon as we get given the go-ahead, I think all golf courses are going to be back open, with restrictions in place, obviously. Pudburn, BRS systems will be rammed. How will they go about block booking? I'm still working, so I want to get out around 4 p.m. The online booking system is something that's been heavily mentioned recently. That's down to each and individual golf course, whether they've either got that already or whether they want to go with that as soon as the golf courses are open. At Kingswood, we've not currently got a booking system, but I do believe that we are going to be marshalling. So tee times are going to be split. So there's going to be larger time increments in between tee times instead of like roll up, getting a group on the tee. Absolutely not. It's going to be split, and the group size of the like 4 balls is going to be 2 balls now. So hopefully a maximum of 2 balls as well, because I think as soon as you go into 3s, it's still a tricky situation. Graham Murray again, have you seen the Kingswood course since lockdown? I've been up once, and it was really early at the start of lockdown. Obviously, we've been advised to stay indoors, so I've not had a chance to get there. Will we need to wear protective gear on the golf course? Hopefully not. This again buys into that idea of let's get it right before we can let people get onto the golf course. It'd seem crazy and strange to me if people like wanted to rush out there right now, but would happily wear like face masks and all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, let's just get it right. Let's just take us time, be patient with it, instead of a lot of people thinking we just need to get back out there because it's a necessity form of exercise, which it isn't. So, and you think the more chance, you think about taking unnecessary measures. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but think about taking unnecessary risks. That's what this is all about. Just because people want to play golf, you're then impacting possible family, you're then impacting NHS, you're impacting the country. People don't see the bigger picture. A lot of people, I think, are thinking about themselves, which is very selfish. Anyways, let's get light-hearted again. One thing's for sure, it's going to be very busy when they open, definitely, Paul. I can see that coming a mile away. Kev Ray, big problem. I'm booking tee times with 2 players every 10 minutes, especially with 7-day members who can only play weekends. I play a swindle 30 men average on a Saturday morning. What you need to realise, Kev, it's not going to be normal straight away. It's going to be phased. So if it means that we have to do 10-minute gaps with 2 players to start with, you're probably not going to get as many games in as normal. Definitely, I'm not thinking 18 holes to start with. It's going to be 9. It's going to be a light version of the golf that we experienced beforehand. It's certainly not going to be getting back to golf straight away, because it's like the PJ mentioned to me, it's going to be phased. It's going to be in measures. Get liking that video. We've got 26 watching, 13 likes so far. Let's get up to 20. That'd be absolutely buzzing. Mason Warren, get at Insignia for social distancing signage needed. Insignia is not officially sponsoring this live stream tonight, although if they want to do for future reference, we can talk. Send me a text, mate. Kev Ray, I've heard maybe only play 9 holes. I think that's the way to go. It's a lot of things in the PGA document that they sent to me. It says advised as well. So I wish there'd be a bit more forthcoming with it and just kind of implement some ideas instead of saying I'd advise to do this. Because as we know, if you advise someone to do something, most of the time they don't. Graham Murray, I play with Alan Bisbee, so I think I will need protective gear. Yeah, you will, probably more on the side of earmuffs as opposed to any facial protective instruments. Yeah. Piers Taverner, can we request some Sheldon videos when you restart? It's like Ricky Gervais without Carl Pilkington watching you recently. Do you know he's the hardest person to get hold of? One thing that happens when we play with Shelley is that he don't want to film. So you'll see in the most recent videos that we did about a year and a half ago, we have to play the first hole to see how he's playing, because if he don't play the first hole well, we don't film altogether. And it's a shame, really, because he's a lovely young man and the hardest man. Hardest golfer on YouTube, I do believe. That's not me that said that. That's him that said that. Sheldon has come back to Piers and he says, Piers, I'm on Piers, I'm busy on bigger channels. Thanks, though. Cheers, Shell. Nice to see your comments, though, mate. Ross Wester, Mason, stop plugging, man. This is about Jack. Hey, no, Ross, it's about you guys. It's not about me tonight. It's about you guys. Get your comments in as well. What have you been doing while you've not been playing golf? Like I said, I've been playing a lot of FIFA. A lot as well. Definitely. What do we all think to the PGA Tour coming back as well? It's going to be very weird seeing a lot of golfers playing without a crowd, isn't it? Like someone said earlier in the comments, I don't know how players are going to react to that. Some players like run off the adrenaline of crowds being there. Some people like Patrick Reed might welcome there not being any crowds. Here's one, right? So, has anyone seen the video of the guy that snuck onto the golf course recently and he gets confronted by a member who's at that golf club? It is a strange, bizarre video because it's very easy to not want to take either side in that argument. So what happens is a guy who's, I think he's just walks onto his local golf course where he's a member at, and he finds a guy playing. I think there's like a 2 or a 3 ball or something in this lockdown period where golf courses are shut. And he goes over to him, recording him on his phone, and he's kind of saying to him, you're not allowed to be on here. And he says, what are you filming me for? What are you filming? Obviously knows that he's in the wrong. It is a bizarre situation. It's knocking around on Twitter, so if you do get a chance to go and watch that, make sure you do. Because that shows the idiocy that we need to stay clear of when it comes back to this idea. Hopefully, people do stick to the guidelines when we're allowed back out onto the golf course. But as we know, some people want to push the luck, and I'm very worried that we're going to end up back in this kind of situation that we're in right now. Definitely. Right, get your questions in the chat as well. If you have any golf-related questions, let me know. 16 likes. Let's get up to 20. Make sure you're liking that video. Shelley, we're almost like you've heard us listening. You've heard us talking about you in the chat and then you joined. That was very bizarre. Is anyone excited for the UFC coming back, or is it just me? I think they've got 3 events in a week, starting on May the 9th. That's going to be mint. That's the first real sport I think that's going to be back. Football. What's going to happen with football, eh? It's a shame that this is all we've got to talk about really at the minute, but it's the only thing that's going on, isn't it? Mason Warren. Shelley's been sneaking onto the 9-holer for a quick few holes every night. Do you think that's irresponsible? I think that's very irresponsible. And you know what? I won't put it past him either. Sheldon Feast, give the people what they want. Sheldon and Jack series. Mate, get on the blower. Whenever you want to play, I will play with you. That sounds weird. Right. No one clip that up, please. Let's go for a game of golf as soon as all this is over. And we'll film it if you're playing well. Let's film it if you're not playing well. Last one we did were at Town Moor, actually. It was the Guess the Score video. And you weren't in that one. It was just me. So, Kev Ray, what do you think to 9-hole shotgun starts and starting halfway down fairways? That would be 36. Kev, it's not a case of let's see how many people we can get onto a golf course. It's a case of let's keep the number down to start with and let's phase it in gradually. I don't get the rush for people wanting to get so many people back out to the golf course. It's just let's take it steady. Let's just bear in mind it's going to be 2 balls to start with. It's going to be 10-15 minute gaps in between tee times. That's what it's going to be for the first couple of weeks until death rates continue to drop, and then we can somehow get it back to normality, because that's what it's all about. Sheldon Feast, liar pants. Hey, May said it, not me. Pudburn, mate, you're not drinking that blue stuff, are you? I am, unfortunately. It's real nice. It's a Belgian white wheat ale. And I had 16 cans and I had to go through them all. Oh well, worst named alcoholic beverage out there, but one of the best tasting, I think. So, Richard Todd, I hope Jack, well, mate, how are you? Town Moor is in great condition. Have you had a chance to go up, Sheldon? Have you had a chance to look around course since we've been in lockdown? Has anyone had a chance to do that? I know that a couple of guys where I used to play at Ickleton Golf Club have been up recently, just kind of checking the course out, and it's in fantastic nick. So, just like everyone else, I am chomping at the bit to go, but let's make sure that we do this right. Let's not make sure that we dive in head first and get it wrong and we end up back here, because that's what I'm worried. Piers, walk ticket today looking better recently. Great stuff. What are greens looking like, Piers? That's what I'm interested with. We're not having as much green staff on places. PJ have advised that golf courses are probably going to get a little bit worse before they get better. So it's going to be interesting to see if that is the case or not. Paul Beard, I'll give it a week or 2 after opening. Let it settle down a bit. Plus, I need a refresher lesson before my first round. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people coming back for lessons, mate. We everyone being as rusty as what there is, we are fully prepared to be as busy as probably as what we ever have been to start with the right procedures in place, of course. John Lumley, do you think the European Tour should cancel this year's tour with it being multinational? Mate, I'm very, very worried about people flying in from all over the globe just to get to some events. I think the PGA Tour need to be very strict with the testing, first and foremost, that they're doing when people are touching down ready for their events. Social distancing obviously is going to be a real contentious, strange issue. It's going to be weird. I don't know. I can't really get my head around it all at the minute. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to keep you guys informed as best as I can as well. PSA greens have come on a lot. That's mint. That's great to hear. Pudburn again, been to my club helping out maintenance. Course looks stunning, brilliant, mate. Great to hear that. Top stuff. I know that a few people, I know that some pros have been helping out on the green staff during this time, which is absolutely brilliant. So the golf course has not been furloughing the professionals, or the professionals as a way of like a means of earning money still, have been helping the green staff. So that's a great idea. Pierce says we're only cutting fairways until last weekend. That's understandable. So less staff on the green staff means they're not able to get around all the jobs that they need to do. But from the pictures that I've seen, Nicky is looking absolutely wicked, to be fair. Have you been at Kingswood for a look or any updates on the course, or was it a swimming pool? I doubt it's a swimming pool, mate. It's not rained for about 4 months. Have I been for a look? No. The last time I was up at Kingswood was about 4 weeks ago. It was very early in the lockdown, and I was there with Chris and Dan, just kind of talking about everything, really, about the impending doom as it was back then. And we've not really been up since. I am going in this week, I think, just for a couple hours, just to make sure that we start getting the pro shop and the driving range ready for everyone coming back to golf. There's people mentioned that it could be this week, as soon as the lockdown is like restricted almost. That's not the most perfect word in that situation, but we're definitely going to go in this week and stay away from each other as far as we can and get the place looking something like, just on the off chance that it is opened prematurely. But hopefully the government say to us it's going to be a date that's like a week down the line, so we can go in and get Kingswood up to scratch. Are you doing a deal on lessons? Yeah, there's a few deals at the minute running, mate. It's like It's all on my website. It's all in description and link below as well. JackLeePGA.com. Rich 1980. Do you think players should forget about handicaps this year due to COVID and concentrate on playing and enjoying? I enjoyed golf again once I stopped caring about the handicap and ironically improved. It's the least. It should be the least of everyone's concern at the minute. I know that we play golf and a lot of play golf with the single intention of just reducing the handicap, but is it the most important thing at the minute? No. Absolutely not. So yeah, it's a good idea that. Let's just concentrate on staying safe. Let's concentrate on getting back out there in his little small group so that we're not putting more pressure on NHS, more pressure than what they're already under. Pud, yes, our pro has been around 8 of us on the pro. That's brilliant. No, so Pud's talking about his pro has joined the green staff, and by the sounds, Pud and a few of his friends have as well. So that's absolutely brilliant. Sheldon Feast, it's a shame Ickleton didn't have the facilities you needed, Jack. It is a damn shame, Ickleton, Shelley, because that is one superb golf course. I hope it's doing okay during these crazy times. Is the lighting okay, guys? In the chat, can you still see me all right? I know that it's getting a little bit dark. I'll just put a light on. Hold on 2 seconds. How's that? Is that better? Is it better with 1 or with 2? I feel like that's better. 18 likes. Come on, let's get 2 more. Let's get to 20. That'd be absolutely buzzing. So, like I said, right at the top of the live stream, we've got Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson, the rematch. Potentially all the money that's going to be raised is going to be donated to charity, which will be absolutely fantastic. 22 likes. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. Lighting is poor. We can still see you. Can you make it darker? Nice one. Yeah, Tiger, Phil, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning involved. It's going to be good to see some live sports in it. It's going to be good just something to look forward to, because we haven't really had hope to look forward to for months, have we? I was very much looking forward to this most recent UFC event that was on Fight Island, but that got cancelled. It's now been rescheduled to be in Florida, I think, on 9th of May. So that's going to be good. Sheldon Feast, will Jesse Lingard reach his potential as he's only a young lad? Give him time, Shell. Give him time. He'll develop into the player that we all think he's going to be. Definitely. Okay, one last thing that I really want to talk about is that every week in the Sunday night show, at the end, near enough of the Sunday night show, we're going to be doing a comment of the week. And this week's comment of the week, I can't bring it on screen for you, unfortunately, because I've not got the technological capabilities yet. It was on the top 10 things you must do when the golf course is reopened video, and it is from Derek Richardson. And he says, I suggest that when the time comes, we should strictly adhere to the guidelines, not just for obvious health and safety issues, but also for image and trust reasons. If we can be seen to act responsibly, then it is more likely that we'll be able to continue to play. However, I could see a situation where it wouldn't take many planks ignoring the guidelines for the ban to be introduced. Reason why that's comment of the week is because I think that Derek is absolutely at the nail on the head with that. Every week we're going to be doing that, a comment of the week. So I will save my favourite within that week, and it gets read out at the end or near the end of the Sunday night live show. Beautiful. John Lumley, go light-hearted now. What 3 partners would you have for a dream four-ball past and present? I'm going to go Jennifer Aniston, Cara Delevingne, and Jennifer Lopez, age 42. That's my perfect 4-ball. What about you guys? Leave it in the chat below. Piers Taverner at Everton. What are you on about, Piers? What's at Everton? Oh, if Jesse Lingard goes to Everton, he might reach his potential. Maybe. I don't know. Are all the Kingswood pros keeping in touch with each other? How are you all doing? We're actually all right. So I've been texting. Well, I ring Dan like once a week just to see how he's going. Dan Seaman's a little bit harder to get hold of, but we're in a group chat together. We send each other memes and that every now and then. Yeah, we have been keeping in touch. I think it's now that it's looking like we're going to slowly start getting back to work. We're probably going to be spending a little bit of time with each other, 2 years apart, obviously. Charlie James, have I missed the Q&A? It's coming up to prime time now, Charlie, so get your comments in that chat below if you want me to answer them. Sam Law, do you actually miss teaching? Yes, Sam, I do. But it's important that we get things right before we're allowed to go back to work, because I don't want to be stood 3 meters away with a mask on my face teaching people, because that's not our role, as you know. How far do you think the YouTube channel can go, mate? Just on another point, do you want Leeds back in the Premier League? Absolutely do not want Leeds back in the Premier League. But also with the YouTube channel, who knows, mate? Who knows? I'm enjoying making the content. That is the main thing. When I first started it, it were all about helping people and it were all about spreading the message that I want to spread. So far, it's been doing that absolutely perfectly. So for me, it's not about money. It's not about how many subscribers I get. It's just a case of keeping a nice engaged audience. And that's what we've been doing soon. Pudburn, I think he's going now, so I'll speak soon, pal. See you later. Sheldon Fee says, up the Terriers, Sam Law is the real OG. That is a debate. That's a debate video that we might have to air one day. Sam Law's come back to Shelley and he says, you know it, Shelley. A bit of a bromance going off in the comment section. It's great to see. Rank who's hardest. This is from Charlie James. Jason, Phil Potts or Birdie? I'm going to go Birdie, even though he's not that hard, is the hardest. Jason second, and Phil Potts because he cries. Paul Beard, I think the channel will grow when you can get out and do more content. Yeah, potentially, mate. I'm looking forward to doing like equipment reviews on course when I get back to normal life and normal real work. Right, we're at 24 likes, half an hour in. If we can get to 25, that'll be mint just before we finish. Scared of Leeds then. That'd be an easy 6 points, but I don't think anyone wants to see him up, really, do they? United. A lot of people are probably just going to leave now that I start singing United songs. Unlucky on the Leeds thought we are coming up. Hey, you might not just yet. Imagine if Liverpool don't win league and Leeds don't go up. That's going to be crazy. But if that is the case, I don't think we're going to get Champions League. So, oh well, can't win them all. Right, last couple of minutes for your questions then. I've enjoyed this again. The Sunday night show is a definite fixture now in the calendar. Every Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Show out of the two. I think he fits the team a little bit better. I would happily take both, to be fair. I think Grealish could do a good job with us as well. Sheldon Fee. Right, we'll end on these. So, serious question. How can we have a classroom full of kids back at school before we have a 4-ball? Logic, Bojo. Are we going to have a classroom full of kids before we get back to 4 balls of golf? Who knows? It is a very strange state of affairs, isn't it? All that I'm going to do with you guys is keep you informed. Everything that I get to know, you guys will be the first to know. I can promise that. Sam Turner says, go to, this is important, go to Retro Swag Store to get top quality garms for post-lockdown and, well, pre-lockdown if you haven't already, and during lockdown. That's at Retro Swag Store. Again, unsponsored until next week when he was going to slip me a bit of dough, and I'll mention that again. We've also had a question from someone. Are you looking forward to giving up golf to become a pro windsurfer? Yes. I like golf too much. Right, there we go. We're going to end it on that one. So thanks ever so much for everyone watching. Make sure you're watching all the videos this week. A little bit of a reminder, tomorrow's video is going to be how we're going to cope with coaching and club fittings when it comes back to getting back, getting back to real life, real golf, or the first phase, certainly. Yeah. Make sure you stayed tuned in, watching the videos this week. Cheers, Rich. You keep safe as well, mate. Hopefully see you soon. So, again, a video coming every day this week. I'll keep you posted with what we're doing at Kingswood. I'll keep you posted with if the PJ tell me anything. Thursday is going to be a big day. I think we'll know a lot more when it comes to Thursday and the announcement. Thanks ever so much for everyone watching, tuning in. This has been Mint. I will see you all same time next week, if not before. Later. Stay safe.